Hello everyone, Laura here, happy Monday, and today I am super excited to be on live and doing my cooking show. We are doing herbs to Provence chicken today, and I feel like my camera is really far away, but we may roll with it today, and I'll adjust it for next time. Okay, so I have this Taste Buds recipe card that came in, I think it came in last month. It may be a January, I don't know, I'll have to look. But these are wonderful. It's a recipe and spice service that comes once a month, and it's a really, really great product. So if you're interested in that, just let me know. But if you have herbs to Provence already, which, you know, that's pretty common to have, you can play along with me. So if not, then throw some Italian seasonings together and call it herbs to Provence. Okay, so I'm going to start with, it says toss the chicken with a tablespoon of the seasoning. So I need to cut up my chicken a little bit and get some seasoning on it. Grab my gloves. And I hope everybody is having a great day. We had an unexpected cancellation today, which sadly is because of a water main break in the city. So not exactly sure. I might just throw everything in the dishwasher today because it has to get up to a certain heat to be safe. So I don't know, we're gonna kind of wing it on that one. So right now, I mean, we have water, but we're not supposed to drink it. So I'm not exactly sure how I'm gonna play that one out. So, you know, just rolling with it. We're gonna have to eat dinner either way, so I figured, you know, might as well keep going. So I'm going to take the carving knife. If you watch my shows, I still do not like to touch chicken, and so I'm using a glove, and I found that the gloves are humongous, so kind of my fix on that one is that I put a little hair tie on it, and that seems to work pretty well to hold it on there. So, okay, so I'm gonna cut the chicken just into bite-sized pieces, just so that it cooks evenly and is easy to eat once it's done. So I like to use chicken thighs. I think they're a little bit easier to cook. I think they're a little bit more flavorful, but feel free to use chicken breast or whatever works best for you. This chicken apparently has some bones in it, so that's no good. And I think I just keep cutting my gloves, so we'll see what happens at the end of that. Okay, so I'm just gonna chop this up, and then I'm going to put my herbs to Provence seasoning on it. Try not to cut my gloves again, because that kind of defeats the purpose. So, put that in my mixing bowl. You could also throw it in a baggie if you are, you know, not wanting to clean up stuff. But I always look for an excuse to use my mixing bowls because they're so pretty and easy to clean and take care of, and I don't know, cooking's fun with great products. So okay, got 3 more. Should have cut that ahead of time. I was looking for something to make yesterday, and I'm like, I need something that's like not carb heavy. And the cool thing about these recipe cards is that they have carb-less options, or, you know, if you don't like the meat that they've chosen, or you want it vegan or things like that, they always have like little switch-ups in there, which I think is great. You know, whether it's keeping you from having to go to the grocery store to pick something up because you've got stuff in your cabinet that is close, or like we're trying to kind of low carb right now, so instead of rice, I'm going to use cauliflower rice, just to kind of switch it up in there, get a little less carb action happening. I'm going to move all this over here and figure out how I'm going to wash it later. Okay, next up is, I think I'm going to go ahead and take this off. Next up is adding the seasoning, which it says that I need 1.5 tablespoons. So go ahead and do that. 2 ways. I was kind of debating. I'm like, I think I want to use this because I can pour it in there So a tablespoon and a half, and then I can see the measurement a little bit easier than trying to dig in the bag. It just goes a little faster. I'm gonna put a little extra in because it said 1.5 pounds, and I bet that I have more than that in chicken. Okay, so set that aside. Now I just need to mix it up. Get something that I know can go in the dishwasher, just because I'm not sure that we're off our boil alert. I think that I've heard that you have to do like water at 150 degrees, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I just never thought of all of this. So my thought was get everything that I can put in the dishwasher, and then I will just run the dishwasher and know that it gets up to the proper proper temperature with the boil alert. So, okay, I'm gonna add kosher salt to this, just so it's seasoned nicely. And get the seasonings all around. Okay. And it says that you can do it up to 4 hours ahead of time, so if you're looking for more flavor, that would be a great way to do that. It says heat the oil in a non-stick skillet over medium-high heat for 2 to 3 minutes. Let me turn that on. I never know how long it's going to take me to get there, so I haven't been preheating, because sometimes the oil ends up like burning because it's so hot. I love this skillet because it is like non-stick to the max. And super easy to clean and dishwasher safe, and it can go in the oven. And then this like oil dispenser is amazing because it's got like little measurements on the side, so all you have to do is squeeze it, and then it goes up, and then you can pour it in, but it'll help you kind of keep track of what you're using. Okay, so I'm gonna need chicken and onion. So let me get my onion going. The carving knife that I was using on the chicken is my favorite knife to use for chicken and meat and things like that, because it cuts right through. Sometimes, I don't know, like the chicken is kind of like slippery, so it's hard to get a good, knife to go through it sometimes. So this is like super easy. Okay, open up my onion, and then I'm going to use my food chopper, which is one of my like top 5 favorite products. It took me a little while to like use it because I wasn't exactly sure what was happening, like what I needed to do. But I watched a couple of videos, and I'm like, just completely love it now. So it comes with a little like thing on the bottom, but I like to use it straight on a cutting board. It's just a little bit easier to manage, I think. And the more you cut, the more you chop, the smaller that pieces get. So that makes it super cool. And it's kind of fun. And easy to clean, and dishwasher safe, which is a big need for today. Also kind of keeps those fumes, like the little onion fumes, from making you want to cry, which is annoying. Okay, maybe one more. Like a couple that missed it there. Okay, so I am doing chicken and the onion. Cook for about 5 minutes until chicken is lightly brown and the onions have softened. Okay, so I'm looking for my oil to be like watery, and that's how I know. So if you can see that, that's how I know that my oil is ready to use. Okay, so it's a little bit watery. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and scoop this in. Start with the onions. Okay, this scraper is amazing. I love it. I use it all the time. It's also great for cutting like pastry if you're making any kind of like dough and need to like cut it. Cuts right through, which is wonderful. Okay, set this aside, put this chicken on it. Okay, so probably need to mix that up. Stirring occasionally, add the broth, the rice, and the salt. so then I can get that ready while this is cooking. Okay, that's a good start. All right, so next up, I am going to measure the broth. I need 3 cups of broth, and I love that we have measuring cups that are big enough to do it all in one, and I don't have to use like 2 or do it twice. It's really easy. Okay, so I had like a low sodium broth because I like to add and kind of control my own salt. So put 3 cups in there, then when it's ready, I can get it in fast because it's all ready to go. And then my rice, I am using like just a cheap like cauliflower rice, and I didn't make it or anything, it's just frozen. And then I stuck it in the microwave for 2 minutes before I went on live. So that's super easy. And then let's see, salt and remaining seasoning, stir and cover, bring to a boil. So I need to get my cover, my lid. That's the right one. Nope, that's too big. That should be it. Yep, perfect. Okay, so let me move this over there. Broth, rice, and remaining seasoning. Okay. Once you add a liquid, it kind of moves those seasonings around, so you need to pump it back up. It smells so good. I got a couple more minutes on that. Okay, and then, let's see, stir and cover, bring to a boil, and then I'm going to cook for 10 minutes, and then I'm going to add broccoli to it, which, again, I just picked like a frozen broccoli, and stuck it in the microwave for a couple minutes just so that I could get, you know, it loosened up just a little bit. But usually it comes like this, where it's like huge. So I was kind of debating, I'm either going to chop it with a food chopper, which I think that's the direction I'm gonna go, is to use the food chopper, and then I'll scoop it in. And it doesn't really matter that I'm using the same thing because the onions are all gonna end up together anyway. So I'll give it a quick chop. I kind of wanted to bigger pieces. I don't really need to hide it, so family is, kids are old enough that I can have broccoli showing and it won't freak anybody out. So I kind of like to know what my pieces of things are too. So if they're cut up too small, it's kind of hard to tell like what you're eating, so I don't really like that. Little ones that got away. Okay, so that looks pretty good for that. Okay, and then remove from skillet and add the cheese. So I'm going to go ahead and cut the cheese up. They call for Swiss cheese, which I'm like, well, might as well go for it. I've already switched out a couple other things, so go ahead and go for Swiss cheese, which I think would give it a good bite in the end. So I need, it says 4 ounces, which is a cup. You can hear that like working over there. This pan cooks so evenly, it like cooks a lot faster than I expect it to, which is great. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead because this is like looking good. My onions are looking translucent, and okay, so I'm gonna add my 3 cups of broth to that. The cauliflower rice, which you could do regular rice, they just suggest that you do like a 20-minute rice so that it cooks like in the pan. And this pan is huge, so it holds tons of stuff, which is great. And then I'm going to use the rest of the herbs of Provence from my taste buds, which usually I just cut it if I'm using the whole thing because then I can get it in. not be stuck around the little zip thing at the top. Okay, I'm gonna bump the heat up. I think I'm bringing it to a boil, but I'll check when I get back over there. Okay, let's see what it says. Okay, bring to a boil, reduce, and then cover. So let me bring that to a boil while I'm doing my cheese over here. So if you have questions, go ahead and throw them in. I put my camera up really far and really high today, so I can't see anything. I can see that there are people there, but feel free to ask questions, and then once I'm done cleaning up, I will pop on and answer them. Or if you want to say what you're having for dinner, I'd love to know what you're having for dinner. And if you had a good day and you're ready for an awesome week. Okay, that looks good to me. I'll pop that in and I'll put it in a baggie. Okay, so broccoli goes in after the 10 minutes, and then cheese is the very last thing, so that it's nice and ooey gooey on the top. So I will take some pictures along the way. I also want to mention that if you're watching this in January, which is today and tomorrow, we have a $25 kit right now. So if you're like, oh, I think I could do what she does, or you're looking for some extra money, or you've got a kid in college, or you're trying to pay for gas prices, or I hear eggs in New York are very, very expensive. And so if you are looking for some extra money, you can join our team for 25 bucks, and I would love to have you join us and help you hit the ground running and do what I do. So think you can do it? You absolutely can. So I hope you have a wonderful day, and thank you so much for popping on live. Bye, everybody.